That's good. Mm-hmm. It's very good.
One of the most beloved characters. You're almost gonna cry.
I am.
That's so cute.
That's recently Lex Luthor with Superman and Lois. I've just been sort of slipping into these amazing opportunities, and I'm just very fortunate.
Today, we are rolling out the red carpet for a true chameleon from Hollywood. He has fought zombies, he was a complex cop, and he is now, and he even turned into the one and only Lex Luthor. Michael Cudlitz, welcome to Caracol TV. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you for having me.
It's such an honor, it's such a pleasure to have you here. We have so many things to talk about. First of all, welcome to Colombia. How is Bogota treating you so far?
So far, so good. I got in on Thursday, midday, and then so last night we went down to the city center and walked around for about 2 or 3 hours. Had the what was it? The fragrant, the drink that with the fruit. With all the vendors.
Okay.
She's like, she doesn't know. So I've had something in Colombia.
I was thinking about chicha or cola or
what is that?
salpicón, but well, we're gonna talk about food later.
No, but it was great. Honestly, the energy in the city was fantastic. Bumped into a bunch of really great people. So far, it's been awesome.
Okay, how about the weather?
The weather, it got a little chilly last night. Was not expecting that, so I'll be prepared next time. Come out, go with a little something to throw on as it gets
maybe a jacket.
Later. I don't know, a jacket.
You can use a jacket here.
Okay.
We need it.
Right.
You're going to need it.
All right.
Okay, before we get started, there is something that I want to show you. So please take a look.
Oh. Oh my gosh.
It's a true chameleon.
That was awesome.
What do you feel when you watch these images?
It actually gets me emotional.
Oh, that's so cute. You're almost gonna cry.
I am.
That's so cute.
That's been doing this a long time and very fortunate, and I love what I do, and to be able to do something that you love for a living that other people get to enjoy it's a gift.
It's a gift. It's your passion. You're very talented. Tell us more about your first character, because you're almost in tears.
Oh my gosh, no. Well, it goes back all the way when I started acting. I was in the 3rd grade in elementary school, and I just loved doing it. And I didn't think that it was the Cowardly Lion in The Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
Which is weird, because years later there's a clip online of me and Stephen Yeun the night that we were getting killed. We were doing behind the scenes joking, and if you look for a clip, there's a clip of me singing as the Cowardly Lion with my head all busted open. Sorry guys, but it's reminiscent of that, because that's reminds me of when I first started working. So did all the way through school and college, and never thought I'd get into film and television, but wound up here accidentally, really.
So you came into acting for accident?
I was doing theater, and I never expected to move into film and television. It was never an option growing up.
Okay. Well, I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
It's a cool fact.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Well, I was doing my research, because, of course, I'm a huge fan from The Walking Dead, but I was doing my research, and I was like, this guy has done literally everything. There is not a single character he hasn't played. A lot of series, a lot of episodes, movies. Is there anything that's missing? What's left for Michael to do?
I don't know. I've been very fortunate. I choose the roles based on what is written. I'm not sort of saying, oh, I want to go do sci-fi, or I want to do a Western, or I want to do, a drama or a comedy. Scripts come to me, and I if I respond to the character in the story, then I just pursue it. So I've been very, very fortunate between, Band of Brothers and Walking Dead and Southland and then recently Lex Luthor with Superman and Lois. I've just been sort of slipping into these amazing opportunities, and I'm just very fortunate.
It's a dream to live from your passion.
Yeah.
Okay, so looking back at your career, we can say you've been into being a hero and being a villain. And that's exactly what we're going to talk today. While I'm taking and grabbing these things, who's your favorite villain in the whole world?
That I played? I thought Lex Luthor, I think, would have to be. Yeah.
And what about your favorite hero?
I don't know if I have a favorite hero.
Okay. I bet you have one.
Probably. I just haven't thought of it long enough yet.
Okay. Okay, Michael,
Yes.
I have these things in here.
Yes.
Who are we going to talk about? Because I feel like that's
We're
obvious.
going to talk about Abraham.
Abraham, one of the most
Do I have to
beloved
answer as
characters.
Abraham?
Yeah. One of the most beloved characters, of course, in The Walking Dead. And I have a question talking about the mustache. There is a myth going around. Is it true that Abraham almost didn't make it with the mustache?
No.
I heard that.
No.
I've seen that on TikTok.
Because it's in the comic.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it was always,
So that's
had
false.
the mustache. Yeah. Unless Robert Kirkman
Okay.
wasn't going to have him drawn without the mustache. I don't
Okay.
know. Yeah. So that's false.
False. For all the fans,
False.
he always had a mustache. Okay, now we have to talk about something additional. I remember your relationship with Rosita. It was very exciting, it was romantic, until there was a point that it was not. The breakup. When I saw the breakup, I feel like that's one of the most heartbreaking scenes on TV. And what you told her, it was kind of rough. How do you prepare for that scene? Is there any agreement between actors or something?
Agreement in what way? What do you mean?
Maybe to make it more emotional.
Oh, you just play that, that moment, and we've been together for so long, and we were so, Christian Sorados, who plays Rosita, we are very close as well. I just saw her last weekend. We had a big event in Paris. There was about 15 of us in Paris. No, I think you just play the reality of that scene and of that moment. And the thing with that scene is that Abraham loves her. She's family. But he's not in love with her. And he's realized that he can't keep moving forward like this because he sees how much in love she is with him. And he realizes he's taking advantage of her.
Okay.
So but he's totally unequipped to do it the right way. He's not good with words. We know that. I mean, it's fun to listen to, but he's not good at sort of telling how he feels.
No, and he broke her heart right away.
Crushed her. But it's kind of like that. It's like the end of Black Beauty.
Okay.
Where he's throwing rocks at the horse and he's saying, "Get away from me! I hate you!" But he wants the horse to run away to be free, and that's what I feel like he had to really break her and hurt her so she would not think that there was a future, so she could move on.
Okay. Well, but that's really
It was
tough.
terrible.
It was terrible.
It was horrible.
I thought you were the last woman in the world.
Yeah, but
it
you
turns
weren't.
out you're not.
I mean,
I would
it's
die.
also true.
But there were some feelings for Sasha at that
Yeah,
point,
he's
right?
fallen in love. He realized, that there could be a future. Because he was, if you are familiar with the comics, Abraham was not a good husband until after the apocalypse, and then he came back to take care of his family. He talks to Rick about this. He was not a good father. He was not a good husband, and I think that he, like all the characters, it took the apocalypse to make him grow as a person. So he's a much better person in the apocalypse than he ever was in real life.
In real life. Well, I feel like also the fact that he saw his family death and completely in pieces, it broke him. So
Yeah.
there's a transformation.
And in the graphic novel, it's much worse as well.
It's even worse, yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I can only imagine. Well, I don't want to imagine that.
No.
That's heartbreaking.
Yep.
Talking about preparation, of course we have the zombies. How is it the logistic to work with the zombies? Because there are some fight scenes, or when they just attack. How is that? As a fan, I'm asking as a fan.
Everything's choreographed, so nobody gets hurt, because you have to remember with the zombies and the walkers, we're shooting in Atlanta in the middle of the summer. It's very, very hot, very humid. They have latex on. They have, in many cases, when they're up close, they have zombie, the walker contact lenses. So they're very, very hot. They cannot see. So it's very dangerous for the walkers just to be walking around, and then to have to get hit and then fall down and do all these things. Everything is meticulously choreographed.
Okay, well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I guess we can see some of that stuff on the internet. There is also something important about Abraham Ford's story, and it's Eugene. Because he gave you like a spark. I'm gonna save this. I have the cure.
He saved Abraham's life, though. He didn't even know that, but he saved his life.
Yeah, but at the end, that was a disappointment.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes, but it saved his life. Had he not lied to him, he would have taken his own life. So I think that's what Abraham wrestles with, and they spent so much time together that they became a family, a very dysfunctional family, but
so
still
dysfunctional.
But still family.
Okay.
You know, it's that whole thing. It's like, you may give your family members a hard time, but nobody else can. You know, it's like, what are you doing? Don't talk to them that way. You know, only I can talk.
I can do it. I'm the only one.
Exactly.
I get the idea. I get the point. That was kind of like a betrayal, maybe. Is there any betrayal in your life?
Well, because we lost a lot of people. Again, in the graphic novel, we talk about that. A lot of our people died following his mission.
Yeah, that's true. That's the consequence of lying. In your personal life, is there any betrayal that maybe you remember that made you feel that way?
No.
Maybe acting, maybe when you were a little kid.
No, I don't. Actually, maybe my first girlfriend. She broke up with me because I cut my hair.
Just because of that?
Just because of that. Broke my heart.
Man, that's crazy.
Broke my heart. Broke my little 12-year-old heart.
But still a heart.
Exactly.
Okay, there's something besides this that I have here. I know it's not Lucille, but we can play pretend, right?
It's like a leg of a stool. Look at this. It's like,
Michael, we tried our best.
should be 3 of them. We could sit on it.
We tried our best.
But no, it would work.
It can work.
It would work.
Because of course we need to talk about Abraham's death. And
do we?
I want to talk about it because I'm a huge fan, Michael.
Okay, all right. Let's talk about Abraham's
But if
death.
you don't want to talk about it,
no,
then that's
it's
perfect.
fine. That's fine.
Okay, there is a myth going around there, and it's kind of like that you improvised the last words.
Did not.
So that was in the script.
That was in the script.
There are a lot of myths in there.
There was a version. The last words are, if we can say that. But what we were going to do was say suck.
Oh, that's worse.
But it is worse. But the schedule was so tight. We never. Sometimes we have enough time. We can do alternate versions of things, and sometimes there's just not enough time. And we were so busy those nights, there was no time.
Okay, so that's false.
That's
once again.
False.
There are a lot of myths going around there.
People make a lot of stuff up on the internet.
No, even more with the series that's so big and so recognized.
Yep.
Okay. How was it recording that scene? Because
it was good.
it's also heartbreaking. It's like Negan pointing at you and then...
Sure. It was fun though. It was that was the first time in quite a while that the entire group was all together. The show got so big that we were all in different places a lot of the time, 3 or 4 of us at a time in very different places. This is the first time that everyone was really together, working together, and working in that semicircle. We could all see each other, and we could all see the work that everybody else was doing. So it was kind of wonderful. I knew that my character's life was coming to an end. I knew that when I signed on to the series that we were going to follow the graphic novel, and I had already lived past my life in the graphic novel.
I see.
So
yeah, that's true.
I was on borrowed time anyway. So when the time came, I was fine with it. I do wish we had gone a little bit longer, like maybe 2 or 3 episodes with Sasha and I, so we could see the two of us operating as soldiers in all-out war. That would have been fun, I think, for the audience. But the TV version, the TV death is a better death than the graphic novel.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. Maybe you would have liked something different from his pet. You've told me, Sasha, but what about a spin-off?
The spin-off?
Maybe we can create a spin-off.
Well, I don't know a spin-off, but they were going to do a prequel, like before he met up with the group and how he met
his wife.
Yeah. Well, when in Houston after he left in that whole group, but really when he met after he met Eugene, and then how they came across Rosita.
Well, that's true. Did you cry when you noticed that your character was going to die, or when you recorded the scene?
I was sad to be leaving the show because of the people, but I knew the time was coming, and then I stayed on and I directed till the end of the series itself. So I've been with these guys since I started. So even though I left the show as an actor, I didn't leave the show at all.
Okay, what makes you cry in real life?
Apparently the
video. Besides the video.
Yeah, I cry easy. I cry pretty easy.
Me too.
Yeah, a commercial can make me cry. But also, I'm very serious at times too. So it's interesting. People can sometimes mistake that for weakness, and it's not.
Okay. We were talking about some phrases. There are a lot of fans. They even have some Reddit posts and TikTok about your phrases. I'm not going to repeat them because you can do it, but I'm not going to do it. Those phrases were in the script, or were your imagination, your proposal?
Everything was written.
Okay,
Everything.
I thought they were your idea.
When I would get a script, we would go through it, and then there would be sections that we would, I would write to the showrunner and say, I think we can do more in here. And he would agree. He would say, we're not done with that. We're gonna play more in that. So they were always open to have suggestions, but generally speaking, everything was written. There's not a lot of improvising on the show at all.
Okay, there's a question that I almost forget. I once heard that you thought that Abraham's and Glenn's death was too much and brutal.
The two together, yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Do you
too
still
brutal,
feel that
but
way?
The two together, because he didn't need it. If we lost Glenn that night, the way he was beaten and the way he was, screaming and crying for Maggie, that's enough for that. So what I personally didn't, a lot of people stopped watching.
I wanted to stop watching.
No, a lot of people did. Many of them came back, but I just think that it was, I thought it was a miscalculation.
Okay, it was very graphic.
It was pretty awesome. I mean, it was incredible, but that's how like you end a show or something like that. It's not like, it's sort of like, ooh, and then you're going to keep going. That's brutal.
Maybe it was a decision for Negan, right? Because, he can show how evil he really is.
Yeah, but we learned that like throughout, it's, I don't know.
It wasn't needed.
For me, it was too much.
Okay, well, I fell in love with Negan. With a lot of things. I must be honest, I'm not going to deny it.
Yeah, Jeffrey's awesome. He's and the character he created is fantastic. He's a terrific actor.
Okay, he's a great actor. I've heard that you have had some nightmares after The Walking Dead. Is that true?
No, not me. Josh had nightmares.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you never had a dream about zombies or maybe recording anything?
Nope.
Okay.
I just go to bed.
How was it to change? Because you were working with the crew, you were an actor, memorizing the lines, and then directing everyone. How was the change?
It was pretty awesome. The crew and the cast really were very welcoming. I had never done it before, and that is a pretty big show to be doing it for your first time. But everyone was incredibly supportive, and I did a lot of prep, and it paid off. I was working on Southland, and Chris Chulak, our producing director, he had recommended to me that I should be directing. He says the way you in rehearsals, the way you talk with the other actors and staged things and figured things out. He said, I see a director in you. And I had never even thought about that before.
Okay.
And so he kind of launched me on my second career, I guess.
Second career.
Or concurrent career.
Concurrent career. Well, that depends.
Exactly.
Would you continue directing or stick to acting?
No, I want to continue doing both.
Okay, that's cool. Well, we have a lot of things in here, but we're gonna do like a little pause.
Okay.
We're going to try some Colombian treats, Colombian sweets, and here it is, Michael.
Yes.
We're going to try some Colombian sweets, Colombian treats, and is there anyone that you want to start with? Because maybe we can rate them from 1 to 10 or...
I don't know, let's see. 'Cause I can't see anymore. I wear my glasses. Oh, what's in the mystery?
Okay.
What are these leaves? Or is that just the paper?
That's just a paper, but
What is that?
you just let me know when... Which one you want to start
we should
with?
Try everything.
Yeah.
What are we going to start with? Let's start with these guys.
Okay.
Are these like Pop Rocks?
Kind of.
Yeah.
With this treat, it's basically you put it in your mouth and you let it just sit.
Do its thing.
And you listen, and you can also like do this
And then
to
my
listen
head
even
will
better.
sound
It's
like
interesting.
Exploding.
Yeah. So here it is for you.
So I put it in my hand or right in my mouth?
However you want to do it.
Let's use this.
As long as it's not messy, it's okay.
I'm gonna use the.
I'm gonna
cross-pollinate my treats so I don't pour it all over myself. Oh no, this is not gonna work out well.
This is going to work out. He has to.
What does it taste like? It's weird. It's like not sweet. It's almost like a savory dessert.
Okay. You liked it?
Like,
Did you like? Let's rate it 1 to 10.
Like a 4.
That's too low.
Is it too low?
There are bulls in the set here.
Well, that's my rating. You have your rating. I'm just making sure that I have room so something can be amazing.
Okay. Perfect.
Maybe I'll go back and recalibrate once I had something else.
Okay. Continue.
I'm saving
Space, yeah,
Space.
because we have to take care of
I
it.
don't want everything to be rated a 10.
Okay. Would you like to continue with this one?
I feel like this is going to take a long time now.
Just
That's good. That's bueno.
you liked it. Well, that's very common in the whole world, but that's the most common here.
It's got a nice flavor though.
The red one, yeah. 1 to 10.
Is there something in the middle?
Just bubble gum. Okay.
8.
8. Well, that's pretty high.
Because it reminded me of my childhood.
Okay, reminded you of your childhood.
Okay.
Okay, let's continue. Which one do you want?
Let's go into a mystery
Okay.
container.
What do you think it is?
I think like it's maybe like a chocolate or a fudge.
No.
No. Oh,
The name is-
There's some sugar in there.
Bocadillo.
Bocadillo?
Bocadillo.
Dijo or Digio?
Joe.
Dio.
Bocadillo.
Bocadillo.
That's like a fruit
Can I bite
processed.
it?
And it has a lot of sugar in
Yeah.
it. You just.
Don't kill me. What is that? That's not papaya, is it?
That's guayaba. Dulce guayaba.
I don't know.
Okay. From 1 to 10.
It's like a 6.
Well, that's higher than the.
Yeah, because that's got a weird thing going on.
It's basically for kids. They like a lot because of the sound and the feeling.
Yeah. Well, now we have to go into this one to see what it's the same thing.
That's
but
the same.
Same exact?
Yeah.
Exact.
Exactly the same. Let's continue.
Let's continue.
Which one do you want?
Let's go into here.
Okay,
I think I know what this is.
that's one of my favorites.
There's sugar in there.
Arequipe.
It's like condensed milk, right?
Condensed milk.
It'll be good with ice cream. It's like a 6 or 7.
That's too low. I would put it 10, but okay.
Well, you can. Let's go in here.
That's my 10.
These are my ratings.
Those are achiras.
Achira.
Achira. Well, that's not sweet at all.
It's a good snack. All right.
Any of these treats remind you from anything?
These are good.
You like the Cheetos?
I like these are good.
Cheetos, good. Perfect. What do you think if we go with this one?
Okay.
I bet you have tasted them. You've tried them before.
All right.
These are cocadas.
Is it like That's good. It's very good. Like a 9.
9. Well, I'm not gonna judge your rating, but good.
And it's the same, but this is chocolate and this is...
I feel like this one is sweeter, maybe.
This is really good. As you
Go
can
ahead.
tell, because someone else has eaten all the rest.
You can either, yeah, that one.
I'm gonna break this one.
Well, 9, that's a lot. What was your favorite?
This.
The cocadas.
This is my favorite.
Okay, first. Second place?
I don't know. These are pretty high up there. These aren't
Okay.
dessert, but these are pretty good.
Third?
This,
Bombón.
then this.
Arequipe.
These are close.
Equally bad. Enough treats, enough zombies. We have to talk about the one and only Lex Luthor. How was it going into this character? Because I feel like there's a lot of pressure. I mean, it's not any character.
I love playing Lex. The Superman fans are intense. They do not care for each other. The fan base is always fighting. But they love Superman.
Yeah.
So people tend to love the Superman that they grew up with. So that's the Superman, the version they defend. We're working with a story that's never been told before because we're dealing with an older Superman. So he's not really represented in the comics in a pure fashion. So the Tyler and Bitsy version of Superman and Lois were really welcomed by the fan bases across the board. They really loved what they were doing.
They liked it.
But Lex is a character that is known by everybody, so they didn't know what we were going to be doing with it. And initially, there was kind of like a little bit of pushback with what we were doing, but honestly, by the end, there was a huge majority of the fans came over.
They
and
liked
were
it.
very, very happy with what we were doing because it was something completely different. You know?
It's different.
Yeah.
I remember one of the scenes. I was going to bring you a razor, but I couldn't. But I want to talk about that scene because I feel like that's the scene where you transform and you get into Lex and you take control over the prison. How is it to transform, changing the skin? Do you feel like you're changing the skin? I'm another person. How do you work in your character?
I think he's just evolving. He's becoming who he has to be to survive in that world. And that's what he's smart enough to know there's a couple ways of doing this and there's only one way to take over.
Okay.
And that is take down the people who are running it now. So he wiped out the entire leadership of the people who were running the prison in order to take over.
And he had
to. Yeah, and he did.
He had to do
It
it.
was awesome.
To survive. I have a question related with this universe because DC Comics and all of the universe we see in the Comic Con, of course, there are a lot of fans. What was your favorite scene? Filming.
My favorite scene to film was the red light fight with Tyler. We shot it in the rain and we shot it over 2 nights and it was amazing just to see Lex and Superman fight with no powers, just mano a mano and just go at it. And the choreography was was really fantastic, and it was a brutal fight. And Tyler was just like incredible to work with. And it was cold and it was wet. We were up in Vancouver in the middle of February. It was freezing, and the rain's coming down, and the light, and it was amazing.
It was your favorite.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you miss about being Lex Luthor?
I miss seeing where it would have gone had we done more seasons.
Okay. We always want more.
Yeah, it was really sometimes you want it to just end. Some things, but that was not one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one did you want it to end?
Well, I won't say that because then fans will be upset. There's jobs that you want to end.
Okay.
Yeah, leave it. You can imagine.
Let's leave that to their imagination.
Exactly.
Okay, so you didn't want it to end
No,
this story.
Yeah, and I directed over there too, and had a really wonderful time with them. Again, that was a group that I had just met, so really recently started working with them, and then I was put in a position to direct them, and they embraced it and were just incredible to work with.
Okay, it's clear that Lex is the nemesis of Superman. What is his weakness? I mean, in this version, your version of Lex Luthor.
His daughter, my daughter. You know, that's, he says it, he literally says, you know, sometimes you have these wonderful moments where a lot of times you're doing a character and you're trying to figure out what they want in life, what their major sort of goal is, or what drives them. Lex says it. He says to his daughter, "You are the one good thing I've done in my life."
Okay.
And Lois has taken that away from him.
Lois. There are some feelings there. What is Abraham's weakness? What was it?
Abraham's weakness. What is Abraham's weakness? I think anyone challenging him.
Okay.
He doesn't do good with being challenged.
Okay. He wants to be in control.
Yes, and he's good at what he does. He knows what he does, but he also knows what he doesn't know. And then when people challenge him on things he knows,
okay,
he doesn't handle it well.
I think we saw that.
Yeah,
in the episodes. Okay.
Uh-oh.
What do you think about when I bring you this? Which character? Which movie? Which series?
Well, I think about Rosita first when I see that.
Okay, well, that's true.
But it's camouflage, so Band of Brothers probably.
Yeah, this is very Rosita too. Let's talk about Band of Brothers. How was it working with Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks?
Amazing.
Challenging.
Yeah, no, yes, shooting the show was probably one of the most challenging things I've ever done. It's also probably one of the most important things I've ever done in my life and will ever do, because it was more about... It wasn't just about telling the story. It had historical context. It had context within the family members who were learning about their fathers and grandfathers, and it gave closure to the men who were still alive at the time that they didn't get throughout their entire lives. And the series allowed them to sort of open up to their families and sort of share these things that they had buried about going to war and killing people, and it was very a poignant sort of project in my life.
It's a tough story. Okay, now I want to go with this one. What comes to your mind?
Well, that makes me think of Rick.
Okay, well, Rick Grimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you won an award, a Critics' Choice Award, with your character in Southland. Did you ever imagine that you were going to win this award?
No, you don't go in. The awards are weird. All awards are weird, I think, for acting. For any sort of award given in the arts, because arts aren't competitive.
Okay.
It's kind of it's dumb.
Well, that's a tough.
Academy Awards and all these things. You sort of like you're comparing these things. Like, how do you how do you compare two different performances? You can't, you can say you enjoyed something and you loved, but look, and the other side of that is because it's an ego thing. Yeah, do you like getting awards? Sure, everybody likes getting awards. So, what's fun about the awards things for me in the process is sort of getting to spend time with other artists that you normally wouldn't, or people that you haven't met yet in your career. Because I've been very fortunate, been doing this a really long time, but there's still so many people I haven't met.
Yeah.
And I meet people all the time that I love their work, and I tell them, I go, "Oh my God, I love your work," and they're like, "Oh my God, I love your work. I've been watching you forever." But our paths never cross. And sometimes doing series does that to you. If you're on a series that runs for a long time.
Okay.
Walking Dead ran for 11 years. You're tied up for those 11 years with those same people. So unless somebody comes in as a guest actor, or you bump into somebody at an event, generally speaking, you're not meeting a ton of people. Even though you're all working in this industry that is really pretty small.
Okay, I like that vision of the industry, and it's different from what I thought it would be. We're going to close. We're almost closing, but I have an activity. I'm going to give you some specific situations, and you're going to tell me from the whole universe of movies, comic, everything, who would you choose? It could be you. It could be your partners from the crew, from the series you've been in. Okay. For example, which character in the whole world would you choose to survive a zombie apocalypse?
With me or?
With you.
With me.
Who would be your partner?
My wife.
Okay. And what about some of the characters, maybe Batman? How would be Batman?
So like a fictional
Yeah, we're
character.
going crazy.
Okay,
We're going
fictional
crazy.
character. Yeah, I'd go with somebody who, probably go with somebody who had actual superpowers.
Okay.
So maybe like Flash or Captain America.
Okay.
I feel like those would be usable skills in a zombie apocalypse. Hey, go get me that thing. And you get it.
And killing the walkers.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Get us out of here. And you're gone. Like,
Easily to survive. Okay, to protect you in a dark alley.
to protect me in a dark alley. Batman.
Batman. No doubt.
The what?
No doubt.
Yeah.
Any reasons?
Batman,
Give me
because
some
he's a
reasons.
badass. Batman doesn't care. Batman will go dirty. Batman's just like, it's like,
He's a tough guy.
just protect you, just do what he has to do. Batman's like a drunk Irish guy in a fight.
I like the comparison. Okay. To plan the perfect bank heist.
Perfect bank heist. Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor. Well, because he's pretty intelligent.
That's his superpower.
That's his superpower. To survive an endless traffic jam.
See, I immediately went to Flash again because I feel like he could get me out of there.
No, but we've already.
Yeah, I know, but he's my buddy now. So I feel like
Give me another
I feel like
one.
we go way back. An endless and so I'm stuck in my car. So who would I want with me? I would want Josh, who played Eugene, because we would laugh. We would laugh the whole time.
Okay, you're very good friends too.
Yeah.
Cool. To go out partying with.
Oh. I would be curious to see what, even though he doesn't do this, to see what it would be like to go out partying with Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, okay.
Yeah. Because that level of fame and notoriety, and it's like I've experienced some of these things with Walking Dead, and sometimes it just gets weird, and it's not what people think it is. But that would be so over the top weird. I would love to see what that would be like.
Okay, that's Tom Cruise. That leads me to another question. Who do you look up to now? You're a role model for a lot of.
I look up to a lot of people, but I don't hold anyone. I don't put anyone on a pedestal. There's a lot of people I admire their work ethic and stuff, but I feel like if you hold somebody up too high, you're just going to get disappointed, because people are people, and they're gonna make mistakes. If you hold them up too high, you will hold their mistakes against them. But if you just you're like, oh, if they're just people, you're like, I can see how that might happen.
Okay.
And in some cases.
Okay.
Some shit you just can't.
Okay, let's close
Curse
this.
went the whole thing without cursing, and then I finally cursed.
That's good. To get you alive from a bar fight.
Dominic Purcell from Prison Break.
Okay, well, you also acted in Criminal Minds, Lost, CSI. That's a long...
Prison Break 2.
Yeah. That's a cool one.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like there is no other way to end this interview and this
Except
conversation.
I'm going to set myself on fire now?
No, I was going to do this. I was going to do this because of Abraham.
You could have done it, and I would have done it back.
Okay, we're going to cut that thing. Abraham, we have Lex Luthor, we have a lot of characters. Michael Cudlitz, thank you so much for your space and for your attitude in this interview. It was such an honor.
Thank you. Pleasure meeting you and wonderful to talk with you.
Thank you so much. Bye, guys.